Alright, in this first video for Chapter 2 Quiz B, we're going to look at identifying types of angles. So all this is labeling and classifying based on location. So we're just going to get started here. If we take a look at the first one, up here we've got two intersecting lines, and so they're going to intersect at this middle point. And when we've got angles as 1 and 2 are labeled that are on opposite sides or are across from one another, or are not next to one another, those are called vertical angles. If we take a look at number 2 here, right here, we've got two angles. They are adjacent, they are right next to each other, and they form a straight angle or a straight line. So together, angle 1 and angle 2 come together to form this straight line. We call those a linear pair. That is a type of angle. And then if we come over here to this one, we've got angle 1 and angle 2. They again are right next to each other, but if you look closely, you should notice this right angle box here, letting us know that both of these angles will add up to 90 degrees, giving them a relationship of being complementary to one another because they add up to 90. And then down here on the bottom, notice we have kind of similar figures in each one. We've got two parallel lines and a transversal in each. So we want to take a look at those types of angles there. So again, right here we've got angle 1 and angle 2. Again, we kind of talked about in this class, but if you take a look right here, we've got kind of a section of 4 angles. And then down here we also have a section of 4 angles. If I was to take this piece that I've circled and cut it out, pick it up, and place it on top of this other circle, notice that angle 1 and angle 2 are both in the upper right-hand corner. So notice that they match up. So again, if I was to kind of take this circle and what's inside of it and slide it straight down along that transversal, it would match up with angle 2, and we call those types of angles corresponding. In this image right here, again, we've got two parallel lines and our transversal. Angle 1 and angle 2 are both on the inside of these parallel lines. So right here is going to be called my interior because they are in between my two parallel lines. And then notice number 1 is above my transversal and number 2 is below my transversal. So they're on different sides of that transversal. So that's where that term alternate comes from. And then interior. So these are alternate interior angles because they're on opposite sides of that transversal and they're both between those parallel lines. And then finally, if we take a look at this one again, here's my interior on this one. So 1 and 2 are still interior angles, but this time they're both on top of that transversal, so they're on the same side of that transversal. So we call those consecutive interior angles. Your book calls these same side interior angles, so those are synonyms. I'm going to use consecutive interior. But again, all we did here is we looked at the location of the angles based on the information we were given, and we used definitions to help us identify the types.